And this is Miss Humbert here. Today I'm going to be doing the Unit 2 Quiz 3 review. So I'm going to talking this over to help you prepare for that quiz that you are going to take. So let's take a look at that first word problem. It says that Dante spent $16.50 on 2 new and 5 old comic books. Samantha spent $21.50 on 7 old and 2 new ones. Write a system of 2 equations that represents the amount of money each person spent on comic books. How much does each type cost? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let X represent the price of new comic books and Y represent the price of old comic books. So she bought 2 new comic books at price X and 5 old comic books at price Y, and that was equal to $16.50. Okay, then Samantha spent $21.50 on 7 old and 2 new. Well, I want the new to go with the X, so I have 2X and then 7 old at price Y, and that was equal to $21.50. Now notice they flip-flopped them on you, so you really need to be paying attention to what you originally assigned it to. So what I notice is that my X and my X's have the same number on them, which means all I have to do is make opposites. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply the second equation by a -1. So I have 2x plus 5y is equal to 1650. And then on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and change the signs of everything. Okay, notice that I even changed the sign on the other side of the equal sign. So now I'm ready to add down the columns. 2x minus 2x cancels out. 5y minus 7y is negative 2y. 1650 minus 2150 is negative 5. If I could write, that would be awesome. So now I'm going to go ahead and divide those out. So I'm going to divide both sides by a -2. That's like a 5 and 2 all at once. That's supposed to be a 2. So the -5 divided by -2 is going to give me 250. Now remember that y represents old comic books. So it's going to be 250 for old comic books. Then I'm going to take a look back at my original problem. So I can plug y in here or here. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to plug it into the top one. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take x out completely, and I'm going to, or y out completely, sorry, and I'm going to put 250 in instead. So next to the 5, instead of having y, I'm going to put 250 or 2.5. And that's going to be equal to 1650. So then I have 2x, and 5 times 2.5 is going to be 12.5, and that's going to be equal to 16.5. So then I'm going to go ahead and subtract 12.5 from both sides, and then I get that 2x is equal to 1650 minus 1250, which is going to give me 4. Divide both sides by 2, and I get x is equal to 2. Now remember that represents dollars for new comics. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at number 2. So twice a number minus a second number is 9. So I'm going to let x be my first number and y be my second number. So 2 times x minus y is equal to 9. Then it says twice the second number added to 3 times the first number. So twice the second number added to 3 times the first number is 31. And it wants us to find what each of the numbers are. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write it out so that my x's and y's are underneath the same column. So I'm going to bring that 3x first and then have the 2y. So now I look at my y's and I see that the y's already have opposite signs. So now I need to make them have the same number. So I see that this y has a positive 2 with it. So I ask myself, what's the opposite of a positive 2? And that's a negative 2. So to get a negative 2, all I have to do is multiply that second equation by 2. So I get 4x minus 2y is equal to 18. 3x plus 2y is equal to 31. So then now I am ready to go ahead and add down the columns. So 4x plus 3x is 7x. And then these are going to cancel out because they have opposite signs. 18 plus 31 is going to give me 49. So then I get that 7x is equal to 49. So I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 7. And when I do that, I get that x is equal to 7. So now I know that x is equal to 7. So I can go back up and I can plug that in for whatever x I want to. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug it in for this x right here. So I'm going to get 3 times 7 plus 2y is equal to 31. So I took the x out and I put 7 in instead. So I get 21 plus 2y is equal to 31. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 21 from both sides, and I get that 2y is equal to 10. So that 2 is being multiplied by the y, so I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 2, and I get that y is equal to 5. So y is equal to 5 and x is equal to 7 are my two numbers for number 2. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at number 3. So for the rest of these 4 problems, for 3 through 6, you can really pick what method works best for you. To me, when I look at number 3, I think substitution is the easiest. Here we see that x is equal to y minus 7. So where I see x in the second equation, I'm going to substitute that in. So I'm going to take x out completely. I'm going to put y minus 7 in instead. And then the rest of the equation is going to stay the same. So y plus 3y is going to give me 4y. Then I have minus 7 is equal to 29. So then I'm going to add 7 to both sides, and I get that 4y is equal to 36. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and I get that y is equal to 9. Well, if I go back up and I look at the original problem right here, I see that that first one is already solved for x, so that makes the most sense to plug it into. So I'm going to take y out and put 9 in instead, and then minus 7. So then 9 minus 7 is going to give me 2. So I get that x is equal to 2. So now I'm going to write that out as a coordinate point. First I write my x, and then I write my y. So that's my final answer for number 3. Taking a look at number 4. To me, number 4 makes the most sense to use elimination. I see that my x's already have same number opposite signs, which means I can go ahead and add down the columns. X minus x is going to cancel out. So I can just get rid of that. 2y minus y is going to give me y, and 2 plus 1 is going to give me 3. So now I know that y is equal to 3. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in for y in the top one. Remember, you can really plug it into whichever one you want. So now I'm going to take y out completely, and I'm going to put 3 in instead. So I get x plus 6 is equal to 2. So now I'm going to go ahead and subtract 6 from both sides. So I get that x is equal to a negative 4. So now I can write that out as a coordinate point. First my x, then my y, which is 3, not 2. So my final answer is negative 4, 3 for number 4. Next, let's go ahead and take a look at number 5. So to me, it makes sense to use substitution. I'm going to solve this top equation for y. If you like using elimination, go for it. That's fine too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 2y from both sides, and I end up getting that x is equal to a negative 2y plus 13. So that's what x is equal to. So where I see x in that bottom equation, I'm going to plug that in. So I take x out completely, and I'm putting negative 2y plus 13 instead. And then the rest of the equation is going to stay the same. Now I need to do some solving and distributing. So the first thing I'm going to do is distribute in that that 2. So I get negative 4y plus 26 minus y is equal to a negative 4. So negative 4y minus y is going to give me a negative 5y plus 26 is equal to negative 4. Well, that 26 is positive, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract 26 from both sides. So I get a negative 5y is equal to a negative 30. Well, that negative 5 is being multiplied by the y, so I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by negative 5. So then I get that y is equal to 6. So now that I know that y is equal to 6, I'm going to go back up to this original version that I solved for x. And I'm going to plug that in for y. It's going to make it easier because it's already solved for x. So I get x is equal to 2y minus 13. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the y out, and instead of writing y, I'm going to write 6. Okay, plus 13. And this should be a negative 2y. Whoops. So then I get negative 12 plus 13. And when you take negative 12 plus 13, you're going to get 1. So then I get that x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 6. Then let's take a look at number 6. So for number 6, I'm going to go ahead and use elimination. I see that my x's already have the same number, so all I need to do is create opposite. So what I'm going to do is multiply the bottom one by a -1. So I have 2x plus y is equal to 9. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply by everything by a -1. So it's going to create opposites on the bottom. So everything changed signs when I multiply by a -1. So now I have 2x minus 2x. That's going to cancel out. Y plus 3y is 4y. 9 plus 3 is 12. Divide both sides by 4. And then I end up getting that y is equal to 3. So now I know that y is equal to 3. So I can plug it in there, or even there if I wanted to. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and plug it into the top one. So I have 2x plus y is equal to 9. So I'm going to take the y out and I'm going to put 3 in instead, and that's going to be equal to 9. So first thing I want to do is subtract 3 from both sides, and I get that 2x is equal to 6. Divide both sides by 2, and I get that x is equal to 3. So now I want to write that out as a coordinate point. My x is 3, so I write that first. My y is 6. So I have the point 3, 6 for number 6. So taking a look at number 7 and 8, whenever you write something in slope-intercept form, remember that slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b. So for number 7, the first thing we're going to do is put it in slope form, and then we're going to solve for y to get it into slope-intercept form. So remember that here's where you put your slope, and m is the same as the slope. Here is where you put the opposite of your x coordinates, so you're going to subtract 2. Here, opposite of your y coordinates, so you're going to subtract 5. So what I have is y minus 5 is equal to 3 times x minus 2. So now I need to solve this for y. The first thing I'm going to do is distribute in my 3. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times -2 is -6. The next thing I'm going to do is add 5 to both sides, and then I end up getting y is equal to 3x minus 1. So that right there is your final answer for number 7. Taking a look at number 8. So for number 8, in order for us to put this into slope-intercept form, we need to solve for y. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 3x from both sides. So then I get 4y is equal to -3x plus 32. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and then we get y is equal to -3 divided by 4 is -3/4 x. 32 divided by 4 is 8. So this right here is your slope-intercept form for number 8. So that concludes your review video. Once you're done studying, you are ready for the quiz. Thanks for listening.